everybody. Welcome back to another episode. And today I have my friend Jeanie with me, and I'm so excited to have her on our podcast. She is going to be and already is a trailblazer in our industry. So I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell you who she's with, and then we'll get right into it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jeanie Nixon, and I am with Inspire Communities.
And how long have you been with them?
Oh my gosh, I've only been with them for a few months.
Let's see. So are you new to our industry or are you new to Inspire?
I'm new to Inspire.
Okay.
I'm a little new to the industry too for manufactured homes.
Okay.
I do come with 30 years of real estate background, so it's not all new to me.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your background. You were in real estate, right? So tell us about that and then kind of give us the journey into how you got into manufactured homes.
Um, well, I've been in real estate for 30 years. I started my real estate career in Oklahoma.
Okay.
Um, I was married to ex-military, and it took me to Oklahoma, and the town we lived in was very small. We started to think about buying our first home. So I thought, well, let me get as much real estate knowledge as possible.
Right.
So I decided to take some real estate classes, and while I was taking the classes, there was discussion about some realtors that needed some assistance or some help, and so I applied, and that's how my real estate journey started in Oklahoma. I obtained my real estate license, and then I transitioned here to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I have had my broker's license for about 10 years now. So
Okay.
I've loved real estate. It's my passion. I love helping people. Recently, I was approached for this opportunity with Inspire Communities, and it was in a field I have really no experience, not too much knowledge in. I've sold a
Right.
few manufactured homes before, but of course, on land.
Right.
And so it really piqued an interest because of how the market is kind of crazy with the interest rates,
Mhm.
sales
Sure.
prices. It just seems affordability to buy your home is so hard now to come across.
Right.
Um, and this opportunity just it just came to me, and I feel like God brought it to me because I feel like I would be able to help families. And it's not all about sales prices, areas. It's about community. It's about affordability. And
Right.
so that is just really what I've been focusing on, and I'm just so excited.
I can hear the excitement and I can hear the excitement in your voice and I could feel your energy. So we met at a training, right? You took
Yes.
our training with Caesar and I could see the energy in you and the excitement and the passion that you have for helping families. And that's what I know is going to take you so far in this industry, right? Because when you're doing it for a paycheck, it's not so much fun. But when you're doing it because you really love to help families and you're passionate about it and you study the way you do, you've really studied, you've put in the effort into knowing the product, right? I've seen a lot of the posts that you've done and a lot of things that you reposted when you were there at the training that you learned and when Caesar was talking about the exterior of the homes. So I just know you're going to be this amazing trailblazer in our industry, and I'm so excited to see what happens and to watch you grow. So what are the key things that you see that are different from a site built home, right, in that industry into our industry?
Honestly, not very much.
Okay.
Surprisingly, when I started on this journey, there were ideas that I had about manufactured homes and
Okay.
how they were so different. But after taking that course with Caesar, there's not a lot of difference. So the only real difference I've seen is that you just are buying the home, of course, and
Right,
not the land.
right,
But the way that the home is manufactured, being able to go into the manufacturing warehouses to see what they do and how they do it, was really great for me because I had no idea.
right.
And then just listening to Caesar when he started speaking about the key points on the HUD regulations and guidelines that are required, I really can't see much of a difference. And the price of
Right.
there's a huge difference in price,
Right.
but home is home.
That's
And
right.
seeing all the changes that the MH has come from when I was little, it's amazing. And I think that's what has me so excited.
Yeah. The homes are beautiful. The home is the manufactured home is for anybody, right? It's an affordable solution to the people who cannot afford a site-built home. And they're gorgeous. And the communities that they go in, like the
Yes.
communities that Inspire has, they are absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
The amenities, everything is top notch. I mean, why wouldn't you, right? Why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you invest and move into a community with a manufactured home when you don't have to worry about your lawn, right? They provide lawn care.
Yes.
They have a gym. They have swimming pools. They have doggy parks for the people that have dogs, right? I
Yes.
mean, and the list goes on and on. They are just absolutely gorgeous. So what are some of the things, because I know that you are speaking to some customers, right? Your community isn't ready up and running just yet, but you're watching the process. And what's awesome is you get to watch your community be built from the bottom up, right?
Yes.
That's so awesome. I hope that you're taking videos so that you can journal
I am.
that journey, because I think that's just so cool. That's awesome. What are some myths with you talking to clients and customers that come in that they tell you about manufactured homes? Because we know that people still call them mobile homes, right? And
Yeah.
we're trying to take that word out. We don't do mobile homes. We do homes, right?
Yeah.
Manufactured homes. So what are some of the things that you hear that make you laugh and you're like, no, 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 that's not true.
They're not sturdy. Um, they're not built well to
Right.
resist storms. They're light and you can feel them move in the wind. Um, uh, but I think the huge myth about the MH homes uh, is the sturdiness, the way
Right.
that they're built. From back in the 1970s and 80s to now, they have totally changed.
Right.
Um, and so I think that talking with different customers, they're they see the beauty in the home, they see how well built they are, they see how they've changed, but in their mind, I think they're still a little nervous about
Of course.
uh, the sturdiness, the winds, the storms. And again, doing the course with Caesar, he shows you step by step how, they're strapped down, how they're, put into a lot. And it's just amazing. Things I never knew.
Yeah.
I always thought when you bought a manufactured home, you just put it right there on that piece of land and
Right.
that was it. But
Yeah.
there's so much more to that. And I think that people just aren't educated. They
Right.
they don't know. And that's what I'm excited about, to educate, to
Yes.
do the videos, to explain, to show people, because I think right now, there's a lot of people that are being a little bit more conscious about how they spend their money. Um,
Absolutely.
how they want to save their money. Not everyone's looking for $1 million homes anymore.
Right.
You know, they want to have a nice place to stay and call home, but they also want to live their life. They want to travel. They want to enjoy their grandchildren, And so I think that once they realize and they're able to see how much value there is in manufactured homes, I think you'll see a huge shift.
Yeah.
And it's just, to me, like I said, it's just being educated. I had no clue until I started diving into this industry, went to the course with Caesar, and I mean, he is such a wealth of knowledge, and I'm so grateful, that I was able to attend that class.
Yeah, he really is. And sometimes it scares me because I'm like, how do you know all this stuff, right? But it's exactly what he tells everybody he does. He's constantly reading, he's constantly studying, he's constantly making sure that all of us on the team are up to date with the changes and the different things that happen in our industry. And I think that's really important. And I think as sales consultants, right, that's why the client comes to you so that you can educate them because they don't. And there's so many myths, right? The trailers, the this, the that about our product, right? About the homes. And so the more that we know, the more we can educate the families that come to us and we're able to help them.
Yes,
Right. So I,
definitely.
I I love that, and I love that you're excited about educating people because not all sales consultants think that that's important, and I
Oh,
think that's probably why they lose customers the way they do, right? Because they don't educate them because the client is scared, and they are coming to you to make one of the biggest purchases of their life. They may be a first-time homeowner, or this may be their third, or this may be their forever home. And who doesn't want to be educated about it, right? I mean, it's just like, the example that he always gives when you go to buy a car, right? You do all the research, you make sure you know, and then when you go and you meet that salesperson, if they're just a salesperson and salesy, you don't want to deal with them, right? You
exactly.
just don't. And I mean, I have a story where I do not like to go buy cell phones. I would rather go to the dentist than go buy cell phones because they're just so pushy. They're just so
Yeah.
like they don't educate you. They're like, okay, you want this? Okay, it's going to be that. You need a plan. Okay. But we met this one gentleman back in San Antonio, and he took the time to educate me on every phone and why I wouldn't want this one, but why I would want that one, what this meant, if I needed it. I mean, he went through it all, but he was so engaging, and he was engaging because he educated me about things I didn't even know, and I've had an iPhone all my life. And I was just like, wow. And so now every time I know that I have a phone issue or we need something, I want to go to him.
Yes,
And I think it's important with the sales consultants that we do the same thing, that we educate. And so people are always going to feel comfortable coming back because they know that if you don't have the answer, you're going to find the answer, but you're going to find the
exactly.
right answer, right? You've educated yourself with the knowledge that you need. And so I think that's very important. So have you sold any homes yet, or have you given any showings yet, or how's that going? What are you doing right now while your community's being built?
Well, I'm helping out some girls in
Okay.
another community, so it's
Okay.
been very eye-opening. I've been able to see how they show, how they educate, how they qualify. So I'm just observing right now, and
Okay.
I'm helping on the back end, just so that I can prepare for the community. So when my community is up and running, I'm able to, upload the files and everything to who they're supposed to go to and be
Right.
able to have a smooth transaction. But right now, I'm just watching and observing. I have shown a couple homes just
Okay.
with the sales consultants just to go on the showing, and like I said, just watching them how they're, explaining the benefits of the home, the upgrades, things like that, hearing them how they answer questions. So it's been a really good experience to be able to kind of shadow someone.
Mhm.
That way,
Yeah.
once my community comes up, I think I'll be pretty ready to
You're
know
gonna be a rock
anything.
star.
Yeah.
You're already a rock star, but you're just gonna
Thanks.
dive right in and just be like, everyone's gonna like, wow, she knows it all already. That's gonna be great. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see the community.
Me
So,
too.
so do you know when that community is gonna open?
Well, I have been told, I think based on weather and, construction, things have kind of maybe slowed it down a little bit. We were expecting maybe the end of September, we should have a couple
Oh, wow.
models up.
Okay.
Um, but honestly, I think it may be more into October before we'll see the models.
And that's okay because the weather will be nice. People will
Yeah.
be wanting to be outside to go see homes. It'll all work together. That'll be awesome.
Yes.
Well, I
I've got
I
a
know you're gonna do great things there.
Oh, I'm excited. I've got a little sneak peek on the advertisement, and how the whole community is going to be set up, and I'm just so excited. It's so beautiful. I there's nothing like it in that area, and so I know it's going to do great, and I know that families are really going to enjoy that community.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, so tell us something about you. Tell us about who you are and about your life, about your family, things you like to do.
Well, I am a mother of two girls. They are
Okay.
both grown. One of them actually works for a builder,
Oh,
and the
wow.
other, and she does not have any kids. But my
Okay.
oldest one, she has given me three grandchildren. So I have two boys. They love football and they love sports. And my granddaughter, she'll be two this month.
Oh,
So, and she is such a cutie. Everyone loves her. Everyone is drawn to her. So I'm so excited to just kind of watch them grow. The boys are getting older and their personalities are coming out.
oh.
Um, so, so I think at this point in my life, I'm really enjoying that.
That's
Um,
awesome.
the grandchildren. I'm a huge foodie, so I love food. I love trying new places. And Dallas is a great place to try new places.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
and I love cooking. So that's a little bit about me. I have a golden doodle. He's a large golden doodle. His name is Bentley. So he's by my side all the time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's me. I think at this point in my life, my children are grown.
Right.
They're independent, and I'm just enjoying life now. My schedule is a little more open. And like I said, this opportunity came to me, and I just felt it was something that God put in my path. And I'm just so excited and grateful to be able to help families buy something that they can call home that's affordable.
Yeah.
Um, and so, yeah, that's me.
I can't wait to hear your journey, your continued journey, right? Because I know we're going to stay in contact with each other.
Of
Because
course.
one, I love seeing all your posts that you put out. They either make me laugh or I'm like, dang, that was a good post that she did with the homes, right? And then my husband was always like, look at what she made. Look at this food. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to get invited to her house so that she could cook for us. Okay. I'm not I enjoy cooking, but because I still have little ones that are super involved with sports, it's really hard to
Yeah.
find the time to, okay, I got to go to the store to get all these so I can make this. And you know how it is.
Yes.
Sometimes it's just easier. You know what, guys? We're picking something up and we're eating it on the way, or we're going to eat this. But I really started cooking more now that we're kind of getting settled in the new house. I've started cooking more, and it's been fun because the boys actually like my cooking. They're like, wow, mom, you know how to cook. I'm like, I know how to cook. It's just finding the time to do it for you guys, right?
Exactly.
So it's been fun, and I know cooking at home is a lot healthier, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm always concerned. I have always said, even when I was little, I always said one thing was that I was going to always watch the weight of my children because
Yeah.
I remember how cruel kids used to be in school. And I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
want my kids to have to feel that way, right? To have to go through the name calling and the meanness. And so that's something that's always stuck with me and has always been in my mind. Like, okay, yes, we eat out, but we're going to eat, only certain places, right? Like I don't let my kids have McDonald's just
Yeah.
because you know.
Yes, we
You
know.
know why, right? You know why. But
Yes.
I mean, we eat out, but we try to eat out healthy if that's even you can even do that. But anyway, we got off the subject here, right? But
No, it's great. I mean, you're doing wonderful. When I went to the class, and your kids were there, I mean, I kept saying to Dwayne, I'm like, those kids are so well behaved. They have such great manners.
oh, thank you.
You and Caesar are doing such a great job with your kids, your boys. I'm not there every day. I don't know everything that you do, but when they're in public and they're around people, they are so well mannered. And
Thank you.
kudos to you and Caesar. You guys are doing an awesome job.
We really try. I mean, behind closed doors, sometimes we're like, who are these monsters,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But they're home, they feel comfortable. But they
Yeah.
do know we are doing our best to raise boys that, grow into men that are respectful, that, know how to open a door for a woman, to allow the woman to go first, just because you don't see that very
No,
much anymore,
no.
and we teach them to say please and thank you, and people do notice.
Oh
We
yes.
actually, the first night that we were here, we went to a restaurant just up the street, and they were there. We were eating dinner, all of us, and my mom was in town. We were all eating dinner. And actually, I think she's the manager. She came over and she says, is it okay if your boys have ice cream? And I said, sure, absolutely. She goes, they are so well behaved, and I want to recognize them for their behavior. She says, I am a retired teacher, and I've never seen two young men come in here at your son, they're 12 and 8, and they sat here, they had the napkin in their lap, they ate, they weren't running around. Of course, there were other tables with kids and they were running around the restaurant and stuff. And I was like, it does mean a lot because people do notice. And so
Yes.
I appreciate that, because we do try to work really hard. It's not easy in this day and age, as you
No.
know. So we
Not
work really hard to do that.
Yeah, especially with two working parents and your kids, they're around other people, around other kids. They're exposed to the internet, what people do online.
Oh,
So you guys are doing a great job. So
well,
yes,
thank you. I
you're welcome.
appreciate that, my friend. I really do. That means a lot.
Of
So,
course.
so tell me some of your goals that you have now that you're in this industry. What does it look like for you?
Well, I've set up goals to really, really educate myself on manufactured homes so that I'm able to pass that education to customers that come in. That's my main priority is to
Right.
know what I'm talking about and not just give them just answers
Right.
or something I have to find out. I would love to be able to obtain as much knowledge as possible so when they come in and they ask me something, I'm able to give them answers right then and there. So it's so that they can make decisions right then and there.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
so that is my top priority, to be educated in this field, um, to learn about my customers, what they're looking for, what their needs are, what's motivating them to buy, because it'll help me make a better decision to help them find the perfect home. And so I think combining what I already know in real estate
Hmm.
and with this new venture, I still have the same goal is to help as many families as I can. But I feel like I just need to be more educated in this field. And I know that takes time,
Right.
and I'm excited about that. And um, the mentors that I have, the coaches that I have been just so supportive, just full of knowledge. And so I think that I'll get there. It's just going to take that experience, once those customers come in and making them a client for life. And um, but that's my main goal is to educate myself on the industry and to really learn about my customers so that I'm able to help them in the best way that I can.
You're going to be awesome at it. They're going to love you. You just have the personality. And not only that, you can see that you're genuine, that you actually want to help them, right? It's not just another sales tick for you, right? no, I want to help you. If I don't have the house here, we're gonna find you the home that you want, right? And I'm gonna spend my time with you. I'm gonna take you through the steps. And I love that. I think that's exactly what a sales consultant needs to be and needs to have, that genuine so that the people feel it, right? I
Yes,
mean, you want to feel like whoever is selling you something, you feel important to them and
yes,
that whatever you're saying, they're listening. I mean, if you know that my budget is X amount of dollars, you're not going to take me to go see a home that I can't even afford, right? You're
exactly.
listening, you're going to fit my needs. So I really love that. That's great. That is really, really good. So far, I mean, I know you haven't really you've shadowed when you showed families, but have there been any big differences or anything from people that are looking at site-built homes to families that are looking at manufactured homes?
That's funny that you asked me that because we recently, I shared with you and Caesar, we recently had an open house at the community that I'm helping with the sales consultants there. And Saturdays are normally their busiest time. There's
Right.
so many families that come in, and there's only one consultant there on Saturday. So um, I decided to go in on Saturdays, a couple Saturdays to help. And last weekend we had that open house, and so we had about 12 families come in.
Wow.
And I was just amazed. I was amazed because, first of all, the sales consultant there is amazing. She's so very patient with everyone that comes in. She's helpful. She answers questions, and just watching her attend to each family,
Right.
but watching them listen to her, and they're sitting and waiting. They're patient. Where from in my past, from my experience working in, an office, a real estate office, and someone comes in, people don't want to sit and wait. They
That's
don't
right.
want to wait. They don't want to wait for you when if you're on the phone or if you're on the way back to the office. They don't want to wait. Their usual, comment is I'll come back, or, I don't have time.
Fine.
But the families that came out to that open house, every single one of them waited.
Wow.
And of course I helped as much as I can, but I was limited, but they all waited. They waited for her. Once she got to them, they looked at houses. If they liked the house and they were ready to make the offer right then and there, she told them exactly what they needed, their financial items, their money orders. And I couldn't believe how many people left and came back and brought everything she asked for that same day. In real estate, that I mean, I don't think I've ever experienced that.
Yeah.
You pre-qualify someone, you send them to a loan officer, and the loan officer is working with them, and they request the certain items, and it'll take them a few days, some of
Yep.
them a few weeks. But these people were bringing stuff back the same day, and so I was just blown away that they were so patient and that she was so patient. And then when you put them together, it was just, it was a beautiful thing happening.
Yeah.
And you can genuinely see she loved helping them, and you can see that they genuinely trusted her. And
Right.
so watching that, that's what I hope my community, that's what I can bring to the people that come there, the families, that they will trust me, and I want to be able to help them like she helped those families. So it was a great experience. And so that, I think that was the biggest difference that I saw in the families that buy traditional stick-built homes
Right.
versus the manufactured homes.
Right.
So yeah, it was great.
And you said 12 families and they all waited.
They all waited because
Wow.
have you know how when you are working, you heard the saying, when you're working and no one comes in, no one calls, but as soon as you leave or you go on vacation, everybody wants to come,
Yes.
everybody call, everyone has a
Yes.
problem. That
Yes.
the way that it is. We would sit there for a little bit and it would be quiet. We would just chat and talk about certain things. And then a family would come in and then another family would come in. And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So that is how it was, never just one family at a time. It doesn't work like that. They
Yeah.
all come in little groups. So yeah.
But
But
that's
I think
awesome.
yeah, I think it's great because it showed me how she handles
Mhm.
um, the stress of everyone coming in, and how she is so cool and calm and patient. And watching her do that, it just, showed me, okay, this is how you handle this. This is how you do this. It's great to see someone that, has that type of mentality,
Right.
and honestly, she loves what she's doing. And she tells me that every single time I go there. I love what I'm doing. I love these people. So it
Yeah.
was great.
But you see that just shows that people feel that energy. Can you
Yeah.
imagine had she been there running around, oh my gosh, and going crazy? People have been like, no, let's just go. She doesn't know what she's doing. She can't. But everybody waited.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. What
It
a
is.
man, that's a great story.
Yeah.
12 families waiting and they all waited. And some of
Yes.
them came back with the paperwork so they could get the deal done right then
Yes.
and there.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great. But see,
And and
they feel that.
and we yeah, and we actually had multiple applications on homes, single homes.
Oh,
And I said, "Well, what do you do?" And she said, "Oh, I have to tell you this." So we had all those families come in,
right?
and a lot of them, they'll look at the different homes that we have, and there are certain homes that, of course, may stand out. So we had multiple offers on certain homes.
Mhm.
And so another couple came in. It was an older gentleman and his wife. They came in, and I greeted them and I talked to them a little bit, and they were cash buyers. They said, "We want to find something. We want to buy it cash." And I said, "Okay, well, give me a few moments. She'll be with you in just a moment." And when she finished with the couple she was helping, she went to help them,
Mhm.
and she took them back to the conference room to give them a little consultation, explain, how everything worked. And after they left, after she showed the homes, and after they left, she came to me and she said, "Guess what?" And I said, "What?" She said, "They want to buy the home at so and so, but I already have an application on it."
Right.
And I said, "Oh, okay." And he said, "Just let me apply for that home because I'm going to pay cash. The other one is doing financing. Just give it to me." And she goes, "I can't do that. They came first. So we
Right.
have to give them the first opportunity, but I can put you next." And he goes, "Okay, I just wanted to ask you to see how ethical you were." And he goes, "And because the way you answered that, I trust you and I want to work with you." And I was like, oh my gosh, people test you and you don't even know that they're
You
testing
don't
you.
know. Yep.
But he was just trying to see what decision she would make just because he said
Right.
that he was a cash buyer. Because
Right.
that's almost a guaranteed sale.
Mhm.
But
Absolutely.
she said no.
Absolutely.
She said
And you know
no.
what the sad thing is? Probably a good majority of sales consultants would have taken that offer and said, okay, great.
Hmm.
That's the sad part. And then that other family that was there first would have missed out.
Yes.
Maybe they would have qualified for another home or whatever,
Yes.
but still, that was what they wanted. And man, kudos to her.
Yes.
What
I
a
love
great example for you. What a great mentor, right? Because
yes.
that's the thing. We pick up on other people's habits that we watch. And
Yes.
had she done a bad habit, I'm not saying that you would have turned around and done it, but somebody else may have. And
Yeah.
that's not setting the tone for our industry or for what we do, right?
Right.
So wow, that's a good story there, Jeannie.
I
I
know.
like it.
I love it. And you never know when you first meet someone, you can feel a vibe. You can tell maybe, oh, they're pretty nice. They're seems like a good person. But then when you start following them and shadowing them and you see how they treat people and you see how they work, then you start to like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna get my training and that's all I'm gonna do. Or you're gonna be like, I love what she does. I love
Right.
how she's into it. I love that she's honest. And I think following her, shadowing her, it is just so great to know that someone in this industry, because just imagine me getting into this industry and working with someone that's dishonest.
Oh, I
And,
know.
that would have been the first, impression I would have gotten. It may have left something negative in me,
Right.
but I mean, yes, I definitely commend her on how she treats her clients, how she sells and her integrity. She has integrity, and I love it. And I have really enjoyed working with her.
That is awesome. What a great story. I mean, it's the same like with me when I first started doing this with Caesar. I wasn't 100% sold into it, right? I'm like, I don't want to do sales. That's not my thing. I'm not comfortable. He's like, babe, you sell all the time. He was like, you worked for nonprofits and all you did was ask for money from donors, right? I mean, I would go to donors and be like, look, I'm having this event. I need 100,000. Can you do it? And he's like, that is sales. You don't even realize it, but that's sales. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe. So when he started like, coaching me and training me on how to do the homes, I would watch him, I'd listen to him on the phone, and I'm just like, I would just sit there like, wow. You could see the true passion and the joy and just really wanting to help families. I watched him, I could hear him. I'm like, wow. And so when I started making phone calls, when somebody would ask me about a home and I'd get their number and I'd have to call them and I would tell them, here, you call them. I got somebody's number, but I want you to call them. He's like, no, you're going to call them. I'm like, no, but I'm so nervous. He's like, you're just having a conversation with somebody. They're just as nervous as you are. He's like, you just got to lead the dance. And I'm like, no, I'm scared. I'm scared. But the more and more calls I made, it was
Yeah.
true. They don't know any more than they think that I know, right? And it's just me asking the questions that he, taught me to ask and to getting in a conversation with them and genuinely caring, what they have to say and really listening and taking notes when they're talking. When you ask somebody who's going to live in the home, right? Get the names of the kids and their spouses and then talk about their interests, right? All those things. And I've met some very interesting people that way, and heard some very like great stories and then some not so great stories of why they needed a new home, but your heart goes out to them and then you really want to help them and you make this connection with them, with whatever it is because their kids also play football or their kids, their daughters in dance or she loves volunteering and you just find somewhere and you make the connection together. And so that's something that I've had to learn too is to I'm already a people person. I love helping. Again, I've been in the nonprofit all my life. I've Caesar always laughs. He's like, yeah, she's worked for free all her life, but you know, but that's what we do here, right? Is we're helping families. And I really never saw it that way until
Mhm.
I actually got deep into what we do. Right. And
Yeah.
that's what we do is we help families and more families. And by us helping, you all, the sales consultants, right? We're helping more families. So I
Mhm.
love it. And I love those stories. And I can see you coming back on the podcast and telling me stories that like that happened to you. And you're like,
Yes.
so here's what I did.
Yes.
I love it. It's gonna be fun. And I do agree with you. The important thing is having um mentors and trainers and coaches that you can look up to that
Mhm.
teach you the right way, that you
Yes.
don't pick up those bad habits or those shortcuts, just to make that dollar, just to make that sell.
Yes. Yes. And I,
So,
and I and I believe that it all comes back to you.
yes.
A
Oh,
quick
yeah.
sale, a quick sell to some people is quick money, but who wants to make quick money when you can make honest money and you have people that trust you and that will bring you more people, their families.
Yep.
And I think that's how I stayed in real estate for so long is, you know, I always treated everyone the same. It didn't matter what price point you were buying.
Right.
If you came to me and you had an appointment first, you were my appointment. I
Right.
didn't change that. And throughout my career, I have been so blessed with being able to be in real estate for so long because of that, because of referrals, because of my past clients coming back, because I didn't advertise. I never went to the office and did phone time. All the clients, all the sales that I've ever had were based on my customers, my sphere, um, and how I treated them. And so that's something that I'm very proud of. And it was hard to make a decision to leave real estate, to jump into, you know, manufactured home sales, but I had to really pray about it and think about it. Um, and with everything, the timing in my life,
Right.
with my kids being grown, because real estate is so flexible. It helped me take my daughter to practice,
Yeah.
help me go to those events. Um, and so it was important, but now I feel like he has something in store for me. I don't know what it is, but like I said, this opportunity came to me. I wasn't looking for it.
Right.
And so I always look at it like God opened this door. Why? Don't close it,
Right.
so I'm excited. I am so excited about it. I really am.
I know you are, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we got the opportunity to meet and that we get to stay in contact with each other. I love your posts. They're hilarious. They're informative. They're educational. I love them.
Thanks.
Is there anything else you want to say? You want to talk about? You want to leave us with? Any bit of information you want to put out there coming from real estate, coming into this industry for other people?
If it if I were a customer considering buying my next home, I would definitely consider a manufactured home. I I think in the past, not knowing how everything has changed,
Right.
I would have been closed-minded. I would have not even looked at them. I would not have considered them. I would not even referred them to anyone. But the past few months, I have visited so many communities, not only in Texas, but in other states. Um, and it is truly amazing how beautiful, how well built they are. The amenities they have and the communities are so beautiful. Um, so I think that if I were to leave something with people out there that haven't even considered manufactured homes, I would say do some research, get some more knowledge on it, visit some communities, call me. I would definitely help you. But don't don't put it where you would be closed-minded and say, no, that's not for me. So I think because I've seen some that I have already considered moving um to another state. And of course, I can't do that right now, but I would, if I had no obligations, I would probably move and move to some of the communities that I visited. They're
Yeah.
just so beautiful.
They are. And it's funny because our 12-year-old, well, actually all three of our sons, we went to Florida and we took them to the villages. And it's a 55 plus. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a community where it's 55 plus and they all have these decked out golf carts and it's like party, party, party at every corner. They have like a big center there in the city and it's music, live music, everybody's dancing, and all our boys have said, when I'm 55, that's where you'll find me. And I'm like, that's so cool, right?
Yeah,
That's really, really cool. So
yeah.
anyway, Jeanie, thank you so much for taking the time to be on here and to educate and empower. The main objective of this podcast is to celebrate the women in our industry and to celebrate the things that they do. So I want to celebrate you because you are absolutely amazing. You are a beautiful person inside and out. I love our conversations. I am so blessed that I got the opportunity to meet you and that we get to be in this journey together and help families and do God's work because that's what we're doing here, right?
Yes, yes.
So thank you so much. I'm sure we're going to have you back on here. We'll bring you back after your community's open and you're in the thick of everything because I want to hear how it's gone for you.
Yes.
So thank you again. Continued blessings to you, and we will definitely stay in touch with you.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love you guys. Thank you so much.
We love you, honey. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.